You wake up tired, not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. You've tried that. You slept 8, 9 hours, and you still feel like something is dragging you from the inside out. Coffee doesn't touch it. Prayer doesn't touch it. And somewhere in the middle of your mind, a question has started to form that you're almost afraid to say out loud. What is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. Your body is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's just been doing it for 30 years without a break. And today I'm going to show you why midlife fatigue isn't a character flaw. It's a nervous system that has been running a survival program since before you had the words to name it. And why the one place that should have helped you understand it, your church, has been mostly silent. Welcome to Elisha Space, a sanctuary for healing growth and for the kind of honest conversations that actually change things. I'm Elisha, your host, a counselor, an author, and someone who has sat in the same stuck places you have. If you've been listening for a while, I see you, and I'm glad that you're back. If you're new here, welcome home. Today's episode is practical, clinical, but pastoral. We're going to talk about something that affects millions of people in midlife, that bone deep exhaustion that no supplement, no devotional, and no amount of just pushed through can reach. And we're going to talk about why your church keeps quiet about it. Let me name what you might not have been able to name yet. You're someone between 45 and 60. You've been the strong one, the one who holds it together, the one people come to. And somewhere in the last few years, maybe it was gradual, maybe it felt sudden, you started running on empty in a way that feels different than before. Not just busy tired, something deeper. You drag yourself through the morning. By 10 a.m., you're already calculating how many hours are left before you can lie down. You sit in church on Sunday and hear another sermon about joy and peace and resting in the Lord. And you think, I want that. I believe that. But my body cannot get there from here. Here's what I want you to hear first. This is not a faith failure. This is not a discipline problem. This is not a spiritual warfare issue that more prayer will solve, though I believe in prayer deeply. This is physiology. And until we understand the physiology, the theology will keep landing on deaf ears. Not because your faith is weak, but because your nervous system is exhausted. So stay with me. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your body. Your nervous system has two primary branches: the sympathetic, your accelerator, your fight or flight system, and the parasympathetic, your brake, your rest and digest system, anchored by the vagus nerve. Vagus literally means wandering in Latin. This nerve wanders from your brainstem down through your heart, your lungs, your gut. It is the communication highway between your body and your brain. Now, here's what no one in church is teaching you. Cortisol and estrogen are in a reciprocal relationship. When estrogen begins to fluctuate and decline in perimenopause and menopause, cortisol regulation goes with it. Your body loses one of its primary brake pedals. The sympathetic nervous system, the accelerator, starts running closer to the red line all the time. Not because you chose that, because your hormones shifted. Add to that, if you have a history of trauma, and I know many of you do, your nervous system was already running closer to that red line before midlife. Trauma wires the nervous system to favor vigilance over rest. It raises your baseline cortisol. It keeps the accelerator slightly pressed at all times. And when midlife hormonal shifts remove the brake, that system that was just barely holding together, it starts to collapse. This isn't visualization. This is physiology. And the church's silence about it is not neutral, it's harmful. Let me be direct here. The church has a language problem when it comes to the body. We have a robust theology of the soul. We have a theology of the spirit. We even have somewhat a theology of suffering, but we do not have a theology of the nervous system. We have language for spiritual warfare. We have language for demonic oppression. We do not have language for dorsal vagal shutdown. So, what happens when a person in your congregation, let's say this person is 52, they serve faithfully for 20 years, they've led their respective ministries, and they show up early and they stay late? What happens when they start experiencing the kind of exhaustion I just described? They may go to their pastor or their small group or their Christian friend and they hear, "Have you been spending time in the Word? Are you fasting and praying? Maybe you need to surrender this to the Lord. You might be under spiritual attack." Now, I am not against any of those practices. I believe in all of them. But here is what those suggestions assume. They assume the problem is spiritual. And if the problem is that your vagus nerve has been operating at 30% tone for a decade because of unprocessed trauma compounded by a hormonal shift that stripped your cortisol regulation, and more prayer without physiological intervention is like putting premium gas in a car with no transmission. The fuel is good, the vehicle can't use it. I hear from people every single week who have been told implicitly or explicitly that their exhaustion is a spiritual problem. And the shame that creates is devastating because now you're not just exhausted, you're exhausted and you feel like you're failing God. His peace is not dependent on your circumstances being resolved. It is a regulated nervous system in the presence of a safe God. But you cannot access that peace if no one has taught you that the body you're trying to worship with is running a survival program. Before we go further, if what I'm describing is resonating, if you're feeling that recognition in your body right now, that feeling of finally someone is naming this, I want you to know that this isn't just a podcast episode. This is what we do here every week. We sit at the intersection of clinical truth and spiritual truth, and we don't leave either one behind. If this episode helped you, share it. Text it to one person you know is struggling, one person in your life who has been told that their exhaustion is a faith problem when it's actually a nervous system that's been in overdrive since childhood. They need to hear this. And if you want to go deeper, I've created the REST, R-E-S-T framework guide as a free resource. It walks you through the 4 stages of nervous system healing: regulate, experience, surrender, trust. You can download it at the link in the description. So let's do it. Let's walk through the REST, R-E-S-T framework as it applies specifically to midlife nervous system dysregulation and chronic fatigue. R, regulate. Before you can do anything, before you can pray effectively, before you can process emotion, before you can make any decision about your health, You must regulate. For a person in midlife whose system has been running on fumes, this means vagal toning first, not another Bible study, not another commitment, not another serving opportunity. Vagal toning. Cold water on your face in the morning. Humming. Yes, humming activates the vagus nerve through the vocal cords. Slow exhale breathing. I'll teach you that in our practice at the end. The point is, you cannot skip regulate. Nothing above this layer works without it. E experience. Here's where it gets harder. Somatic honesty. You have to let your body tell you what it's been holding. Many people in midlife, especially those who are high performing, the ones who are the strong ones, have been bypassing their body's signal for decades. When the fatigue started, you didn't stop. You pushed, you caffeinated, you committed, you showed up, you were faithful, and your body said, I'll store this for later. Well, later is now. Experiencing means sitting with the fatigue without trying to fix it. Let your nervous system hear that you are not running from it. S, surrender. This is where theology and physiology meet. Surrender in the R.E.S.T framework is not giving up. It's a safe co-regulation. It's the moment you let go of the belief that you have to regulate yourself all by yourself. For the person who has been self-regulating since they were 8 years old, because no one was there to co-regulate with, this is the hardest part. Surrender means allowing yourself to be held by a safe God when your body has never known what it feels like to be held by a safe person. It means bringing your dysregulation into the presence of a God without performing wellness. T for trust, anchoring in the body. Trust is not a cognitive exercise. You cannot think your way into trusting that your body will recover. Trust is built through repeated experiences of safety, one regulated breath at a time, one somatic practice at a time, one morning where you wake up and notice, I feel 5% more present today. That's trust. That's the body learning that the war is over. Now I want to address something specific to the person in the audience. Many of you are not just dealing with the hormonal shifts. You are also dealing with what I call the energy tax, the cumulative cost of unprocessed trauma that your body has been paying for decades. Think of it this way. Every traumatic experience that was never processed, every time you were told to be quiet when you were trying to tell the truth, every time you were told to forgive and forget before you were allowed to feel the pain, every time you were the scapegoat in a family system that refused to look at itself, every one of those moments activated your sympathetic nervous system. And every time that activation was not completed, not cycled through, not discharged, not processed, your body stored it, not in your memory the way we typically think of memory, in your tissue, in your fascia, in your nervous system wiring. Bessel van der Kolk was right. The body keeps the score, but the church keeps quiet. Here's what the math of the energy tax looks like. If your nervous system has been running at even 15% above baseline arousal, just 15%, which is actually conservative for trauma survivors, for 30 years, that is the physiological equivalent of never taking a full breath for 3 decades. Your body has been gasping, not dramatically, not in a way that anyone could see, but gasping. And in midlife, when the hormonal brake starts to fail, the body finally says, I can't compensate anymore. Knowledge isn't just power for trauma survivors. Knowledge is safety. Understanding that your fatigue has a biological mechanism is the first step out of the shame spiral. This is not in your head. This is in your HPA axis. This is in your cortisol rhythm. This is in your vagal tone. And those are real, measurable, treatable. I want to take you through a practice now. This is designed specifically for a nervous system that has been in chronic low grade survival mode, the kind that produces the exhaustion we've been talking about. You don't need to close your eyes if you're driving. You can come back to this later. But if you can, I want you to be somewhere where you can be still for about 4 minutes. Step 1, place both hands on your chest, right over your sternum. This is your hands on chest posture. This is not random. Your sternum is directly over your vagus nerve pathway to your heart. You are physically placing your hands on the brake pedal of your nervous system. Press gently, not to fix anything, just to arrive. Let your body know, I am here and I am not leaving. Step 2, we're going to do a modified physiological sigh. This is the fastest known way to shift your autonomic nervous system. Inhale through your nose, a full, slow breath. Then at the top, take one more small sip of air, and then exhale through your mouth, slow and long. Let's do 3 together. Inhale. One more slip. And exhale slowly. Again, inhale. Sip. Exhale, let it all go. One more inhale. Sip. Exhale, slow and complete. Step 3, with your hand still on your chest, I want you to hum, just a low, sustained hum. Feel the vibration in your chest. That vibration is stimulating your vagus nerve directly through your vocal cords. Hum for as long as it's comfortable. Don't perform it, just let it be low and slow. Notice what you notice. Is there tension there? Tightness in your forehead, your jaw? Let your nervous system hear that you are not running from it. Step 4. Now I want you to say this out loud if you can, or in your heart. Say, my body has been carrying what was never meant to be carried alone, and I am not, and I am allowed to put it down. One more time. My body has been carrying what was never meant to be carried alone, and I am allowed to put it down. You can take your hands down whenever you're ready. No rush. This is a practice you can do every single morning. It takes under 4 minutes. It will not cure chronic fatigue, but it will begin to tell your nervous system in the language your nervous system actually speaks, which is not English and not theology. It's breath and touch and vibration. It will begin to tell your nervous system, the war is over. You can come down now. Let me pray for you. Father, I am grateful that you made these bodies, that you knit together the very nervous systems we are learning to regulate. I lift up the person who's listening right now, the one who's been told that their exhaustion is a faith problem, when it's a body that has been holding trauma for decades. The one who has been sitting in church pews, feeling like they're failing because they can't access the joy that everyone else seems to carry so easily. I ask you, Lord, to meet them in the gap between what they believe and what their body can currently feel. You are not confused by their fatigue. You are not disappointed by their dysregulation. You designed the vagus nerve. You wrote the code for cortisol and estrogen. You understand the biology of midlife because you authored it. I pray that they would stop spiritualizing what is physiological and that they would stop believing that their exhaustion disqualifies them from your presence. Your peace is not dependent on their circumstances being resolved. It is a regulated nervous system in the presence of a safe God, and they are safe with you, even now, even exhaustion, even when they can't feel it yet. Give them the courage to regulate before they pray, the honesty to experience what their body is holding, the surrender to let you hold what they cannot, and the trust to believe that healing is not a verdict. It is a process, one breath at a time. In the name of Jesus, who wept, who was tired, who rested, and who understands the body's limits. Amen. Here's your challenge for this week. And it's not more Bible reading. It is not a fasting commitment. It is this: one physiological sigh, 3 rounds. Every single morning before you reach for your phone. That's it. 1 minute and 15 seconds. Inhale, sip, exhale. 3 times, hands on chest, before the day's demands have a chance to activate your sympathetic nervous system. 7 days. Track what you notice, not what you feel. What you notice. Is there one moment in the afternoon where you feel slightly less reactive? Is there one evening where the exhaustion feels 1 degree less crushing? That's data. That's your nervous system beginning to trust that the war is over. And if someone in your church, a pastor, a small group leader, a well-meaning friend, tells you that your exhaustion is a spiritual problem, I want you to have the language now to say, my faith is not the issue. My nervous system has been running a survival program for 30 years, and I am learning to regulate it. And I would love your support in that. You don't have to say it with anger. You can say it with clarity, because clarity is not unkindness. Until next time, you are not too much, and you are not too far, and you are not alone. If this episode helped you, share it. Text it to one person you know is struggling, one person who needs to hear that their exhaustion has a name, and the name is not enough faith. The link is in the description, And if you want to go deeper into REST, R-E-S-T framework, download the free guide, also in the description. This is the work, friends, one breath at a time. I'll see you next time.